mindset of resiliency strongly believes that I'm not defined by my condition, things will get better, and I'm not alone. Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Bophelong. I am your host, Pule. Today I'm bringing a show from one of the chalk houses in Johannesburg. Chalk House is an NGO that provides support, financial and moral, to parents of children who are diagnosed with cancer. Now, as they host us today, I'll give you information about what it is that they do, but later on the show, we are looking at how kids who live with chronic illnesses are taking matters into their own hands and living positively and happily. So for now, let's go inside and find out what Chalk House is all about. With frequent visits to treatment centers, children with cancer lose out on many of day-to-day activities of being a child. Chalk House is a home away from home for children and their families. Yes. This young boy's parents requested that we hide his identity. He is an 8-year-old cancer patient who's currently residing at this particular Chalk House. I'm from a show called Bophelong from SABC. Okay. I'm here to hang out with you today because I want to get to know you a little bit better. Is it alright? Alright. So let's start from the beginning. How old are you?
8 years old.
8 years old?
Yes.
What grade are you in?
Grade 3.
Grade 3? Where do you go to school?
Sunshine Private School.
Oh, okay. What normally happens there?
We play.
And you must go to school, of course.
Yes.
You must go to class.
Yes.
And so, what subjects do you do? Do you have a favorite subject?
Yes.
Okay.
My favorite subject is math.
So let's have a sit, and then you can tell me all about your favorite subject, maths.
Okay.
All right. So, so what are you gonna do with your subject that you really love? Are you gonna become a pilot? Are you gonna be a doctor or a scientist?
Pilot.
Ah, you're gonna be a pilot.
Yeah.
So that's good because maths is gonna help you with that. Bye-bye. I caught up with Zelda Jacobs, a representative of this organization, to get more information about the day-to-day running of this establishment. What do you do here at Chalk House?
So Chalk is actually a national NPO that looks after children with cancer and their families. We provide them with support, and one of the support facilities is accommodation. So for out-of-town patients that would sort of need to go into the hospital as day patients, because they obviously don't stay in the same town, they would then need accommodation. So they would come and stay at the Chalk House. So it would normally be a parent or a caregiver with a child. The support that they would need would be accommodation, because the child gets admitted to hospital but not the parent. So the parent would then make use of the Chalk House, and then they would also need to be transported to and from the hospital, so we provide that as well. And then for parents that stay close to the hospital but not close enough, they would still need a taxi or a bus to get there. We would then provide them with transport grants. We would provide them with money to make sure that they are able to do the to and fro from home to the hospital, to make sure that they adhere to treatment. And then also when they get admitted, we provide them with care bags that would have toiletries and toys and that sort of thing. Because you might find that when the parent comes, they're not sure what the child has, so they don't know that they're actually going to be admitted. So for them now to be, once the child is admitted, having to run around getting toiletries, getting toys, so we always try and assist with that.
So it's indeed home away from home.
Yes, it certainly is a home away from home.
How do you guys manage to bring in the financial muscle that's needed to get the Chalk House running?
It's mainly through funding, through corporates, and as well as individuals. So we rely heavily on donations, and then every now and again would have campaigns that we have. Our focus at Chalk is mainly International Childhood Cancer Day, which is on the 15th of February. It's coming up, where we have a Heart for Children with Cancer campaign. We sell chocolates and we sell badges that people can wear to commemorate the day, as well as September, which is for the whole month. It's Childhood Cancer Month, where we create awareness, and then we'd also sell certain items to sort of create the funding, and then we'd have your ad hoc events that take place throughout the year.
Zelda, how different is kids handling cancer to adults who are diagnosed with cancer? How do kids deal with the disease?
With kids, they actually handle it much better than adults, because, you know, as adults would be stressing, would be thinking about a whole lot of things, whereas children, to them it's just a sickness, and to them they'll get better. You know, they're receiving the treatment, they're getting the medication. 1 minute the child is looks sick, and then the next minute they're playing. You know, 1 minute they're reacting and throwing up, and the next minute they're out there kicking a ball. So they actually deal with it much better, and you'd even have instances where they are the ones who are actually consoling the parent, you know, that I'll be fine, mommy, you don't need to cry, you know, I'll be okay, don't worry about me. So they definitely do cope much better than adults.
Do you find that kids do get discriminated because they have cancer, perhaps by other kids or just anyone in different communities?
Yes, they certainly do get discriminated upon, and it's mainly because people don't understand, they lack knowledge. For instances where a child has a patch, they don't understand, you know, that the child had cancer and this is what they're going through. Or when they've had their leg amputated, you know. So, but we try and create as much awareness as possible. We also do awareness drives at schools, just to make sure that they do understand that when a child is sick, or when they have a patch, or when they have, when their leg has been amputated, this is the situation, this is what's happening. And you find that they actually respond to them differently. They actually want to help, you know, once they understand as to what is going on.
What do you wish the public knew and understood about cancer generally?
Is that it does not discriminate. It touches anybody, and once it does, it's not the end of the world. You know, childhood cancer can be treated.
Well, thank you so much for your time. I really have learned a lot.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for coming through.
Thank you. I love your environment. I love the setup. If I could come and live here, I would.
Yes, it's very peaceful.
It's amazing. It's incredible.
If you asked the British how they felt about being the biggest cider drinkers in the world, they'd say something like this. Yes. Well, we don't know about you, but that sounds like a challenge. Challenge accepted.
Get a 12-pack of Savannah Dry Premium Cider Handies for only $109.99 from Tops at Spar.
So the issue of waves is that don't underestimate yourself. You are exactly the cornerstone of the solutions we are looking for.
To go and intervene and make sure that people respect the Constitution.
Now, if drug dealers are paying political leaders, then you will never get rid of that problem.
We need to see detail that we will not see further bailouts.
Fidel, a towering figure of the 20th century.
Stay tuned to PM News for all your news updates every Saturday and Sunday from 1500 hours.
A warm welcome to one of your favorite weekly review analysis programs, Media Monitor. So let's look at the race itself.
It's just becoming a personality contest where people just want somebody to guard their own vested interest. And I feel that the country is at a point now where we need some sort of change.
It is ANC policy that they will have to implement.
We fairly know the direction the ANC wants to take. As a leader, you have to implement.
So what was it like on the ground in Kenya?
Well, the country is divided. The country is very divided.
I think within the country, for me, the one person that I criticize severely, and I'm not very happy with his approach, is Raila Odinga, with him pulling out.
Stay tuned to Media Monitor and catch on analysts unpacking top stories every Sunday from 9 a.m.
Welcome back to the show. Today we explore life with chronic illnesses through the perspective of children. Earlier on we found out how Chalk House provides moral and financial support to parents of children with cancer. But there's more to the story than what we just explored earlier on. There's kids in Cape Town who use radio to teach one another about different kinds of chronic illnesses. This is what happened when we visited RX Radio. Have a look. Changing the Lives of Children in Hospital is a Cape Town-based child-produced radio station at the Red Cross War Memorial Children's Hospital. RX Radio is one of the first few in the world to involve patients as program producers and broadcast presenters with the explicit aim of foregrounding and improving children's experiences of illness and hospital. News anchor and producer Jesse fell in love with radio broadcasting shortly after he was admitted at the hospital for a rare congenital illness.
Actually about cancer.
What brought you to be a patient here?
Well, what brought me to be a patient here was actually, it started at school where my tummy wasn't feeling right and I thought it was just a stomach flu or something wrong, but it got worse and it felt like inside my body something was like pulling my liver or something so sore. So I decided to phone my mommy before school and I went home. Through the whole day I got hot flashes, cold flashes, and they asked me if I wanted to go to the hospital. I said yes. They took me to medical center in Gatesville. So the doctor said there was nothing wrong with me. They done some scans, they done blood tests. They said there was nothing wrong with me, but I was still in pain. The next day they sent me to the EKS to figure out that my colon had bursted and I got a ileostomy bag. For people who don't know what a ileostomy bag is, it's a bag which that purple comes out from. So you can't purple from your bum, it comes out of the bag.
He shares how he experienced hospital stay.
I hated the entire time because it was mostly boring. There's no entertainment. It's just it's like the same routine. You have to wake up in the morning, take your tablets, the nurses make your bed, and then you lay there until you fall asleep. It's over and over like that.
How old were you then?
I was 12.
Okay. But did you understand what was going on with you?
Yes.
Okay. How did they used to entertain you?
Maybe like somebody used to come, like the volunteers, they used to play with children, and then they ask you what you want to play with, and then they keep you busy and take your mind off stuff.
News.
And now it's time for RX Radio News Report. The 16 years
Being part of RX Radio has given him a voice to share worldviews with his peers.
The news is very exciting for me, and I really want to know what goes on in the world. You need to know how, you have to not be soft, but you need to know how to reduce your voice. You need to know the pitch of your voice and the speed and the volume.
The research?
The research you need to do. You can't just do research on anything. You have to do research is what's happening now in the world, not yesterday or tomorrow, what's happening now.
The budding news anchor has gained more than just news reading experience. He has since discovered personality traits he never knew he had.
It is express me to open myself anymore because I was very shy and I never actually used to talk. But with Art Radio, it actually opens a person, and a person is more confident now. That Art Radio makes you feel like opens up a new shell.
RX Radio has opened up intergenerational dialogue between the children attending the hospital, their families, and the health workers, as well as child-to-child dialogue between children patients and other children in the community.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Kotha.
Kotha was diagnosed with lymphatic syndrome. She joined RX Radio as an outpatient.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon.
I love music like a lot. It like gives me like company when I was here in hospital and stuff like that. And so I like choose like music I like, but not only music I like, but like other kind of music that I think other people would like. I have a show, but I haven't really been coming in because I like got sick recently. So like I stopped coming to the radio station because of health issues. But my show is about music, and I like play music for the kids here in hospital to keep them like company, like because they don't listen to, like there's no entertainment here, so like yeah, I play music for them.
So I have a lot of mentors. I have mentors.
As someone who spent some time in hospital before she was an outpatient, Kotha understands the importance of having an outlet to help ease the hardships that comes with being hospitalized
At
as
first,
a
when
child.
I started getting sick, I didn't understand like why I had to be in hospital all the time. But then as I got older, I started understanding like it's the best thing for me to be here and like for me to get better.
So people don't know about hospital life.
No.
What's it like?
Well, hospital life is okay for me. It's like okay now, but like for someone that's not used to it, they hate the place as what I've heard as like children that don't really know hospitals.
The young music lover shared with Bophelong how she prepares for her show.
You have to write down a script and like put everything in order and like which music you're going to play for them, and the music has to be appropriate because it is a children's radio after all.
The young radio jog had these words of encouragement to children who are currently in hospital.
I would tell them not to give up because I know it's not an easy journey. I mean, like speaking of myself and self-experiences, I know it's not an easy journey and sometimes you just want to give up. Well, I would just tell them not to give up.
We take an in-depth look of all your stories of the day across the world. Stay tuned to Primetime News every day from 18 hours.
In the belly of the beast, the vulnerable are easy targets in the streets. Marauding gangs terrorize communities mercilessly. With no respect for human life. Animals are also not spared. The money business knows no boundaries. There is no respect for life. Helpless communities, silenced by their pain. Can their last defense Be in time to the rescue. Special assignment Saturday at 5:30 p.m. when we unravel the truth.
Welcome back to the last leg of our show. Today we look at just how resilient kids can be, and these kids are brave enough to fight any kind of chronic illnesses. We're still at Chalk House, but before we wrap up the show, we take you back to Cape Town to see how a radio DJ at RX Radio is using her ability to motivate kids through the airwaves on her show. Have a look at this.
That was Moby Dixon's producer in this one. He is with Ningumi. This track is definitely taking us to December. And later on...
Kakamba is RX Radio presenter with a motivational slot that she conceptualized to motivate the children who live with chronic illnesses.
Kakamba Inspirational Corner. I am Kakamba, your host for this hour.
My show is called Kakamba Inspirational Corner. It's about inspiring kids, motivating them. I chose this show because when I was in hospital for a long time, there was people that came during the weekend and talked to me, all that stuff. So that made me think that those people doesn't go everywhere to speak about to speak to kids. So that's why I made my show Kakamba Inspirational Corner, because I wanted to motivate them.
Let me welcome you to Kakamba Inspirational Corner. I am Kakamba, your host for this hour. Let me thank Hakim and Muji on tackling the outdoors. Before I tell you about what I have in store for you today, I want to tell you how my week was. My week was very busy. I was writing my final exams, and I had to study the whole week. And I was writing my last paper on Thursday, which was Afrikaans paper 1. It was really nice. I have awesome show lined up for you today. Very educational and uplifting.
I was admitted in hospital because I struggled to breathe. So they decided to put me a tracheostomy, which is the sting in my neck. Yeah, that helps me to breathe. I sleep in a ventilator machine at night.
Can you please?
She will have to sleep with an oxygen machine her entire life, but that has not stopped her from living her dreams through the radio station.
The studio was open last year in December, but we started presenting in March. It was nice, nervous, and we made mistakes, and we still do make mistakes, but every day we learn, so it's nice. The producers help us really always. They get the people for us, and then people that they know they are motivational speakers, and then they just tell us to set up the questions for them. They tell us we got this person and we must just set up the question, and they tell us more about the person.
Well, this is the first time I've been here. I've been well aware of this development and very excited by the fact that it happens and that we hear the voices of children. So this is the first time I came. I came to talk about the effect of passive smoking and smoking on children's lungs. But I hope I'll be invited again, because I can see this is a very powerful medium to hear what children think is important and to be able to bring some expertise and some ideas for them, but also to hear from them so that we can meet the needs of children. So every strength to this radio station.
The hospital has kept its listeners hooked to all their favorite shows, even those who can't make it to the studio, by installing TV monitors to watch all the activities in the station.
In every single ward in the hospital, attached to our television set, is the station, the radio station. And before I came here this morning, I went up to the wards to make sure that our television sets were tuned into Red Cross Radio and that the children were able to watch what was happening this morning.
The radio station has brought the children of all walks of life closer together through the medium of communication.
All of the children who are Red Cross reporters don't necessarily live in the hospital, but they have been trained. So number one, they've learnt new skills. It has given them the most amazing confidence. One of my patients 8 years ago, she was one of the first children to learn to be a radio reporter, and she is now 16. And she's still here, and she's just been interviewing people. So it's a huge growing experience for them. It's a positive spin to their lives. It gives them something to look forward to. And they learn an enormous amount about other healthcare issues, and they're able to help other people too. The lovely thing about this is that it's the voices of children that are being heard for one of the first times. So it's not just the voices of children. The children can ask the questions, and some of them can be to the healthcare professionals who will answer those questions on radio. And then the other very important little sector are the families of these children. So families, children, and healthcare professionals all together are able to contribute to the knowledge that this radio station is able to send out to other people in the hospital.
RX radio DJs are certainly ones to look out for in the children radio space.
My favorite radio DJ is DJ Fresh. Yeah.
Why?
Because he's good and he's been helping other people to be good DJs, yeah. So that's why.
A perfect head start to a radio career for children at RX Radio. One thing is for sure, they live beyond all the challenges that life has thrown at them, and there is no stopping them from being the brightest stars in the near future. Doesn't time just fly when we are learning so much from our little friends? Well, that's about that for today. I'd like to thank Talk House for hosting us today, and RX Radio for using the airwaves to teach children about different kinds of chronic illnesses. I definitely learned a thing or two. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, it's a goodbye from us here on the show.